So, hello everybody, one more time from me. We at Microsoft, we are working with a number of governments, educators, teachers, in order to help them to improve the technology, to improve the ways of learning and improve the effectiveness of education by implementing technologies. So, to start with, we have an example from northern Japan, where there was a shift in ways of living and shift in production happened, where they closed the different mines and the people started to move from one place to another. And of course, the government decided to shut down some infrastructure, like they shut down the trains. So what happened here is that one family decided to stay in this village, decided to live where they live. And there was a single girl who needed to finish the high school and needed this train basically on a daily basis to go to the school. And the decision from Japanese government was that they were going to keep the train running, so the service was running for 3 years in order to enable this girl to visit the school every day and finish her high school. So this year, this service is finally closed because this student finally successfully completed her education. This is a very, very good example of how actually the government is supporting the education and how the government is supporting that there is actually no child left behind and that everybody has the right to education. But on the other hand, looking in today's technology, they might have a little bit different decision in order to move this behavior into other direction. We have worked with a number of governments to support them to create an environment where technology helps them to improve mobility and technology helps them to improve learning. For example, in Croatia, we did a project with the government to connect the islands and connect the rural areas with the central schools. So in this way, they used mobile devices, they used telecommunication technology, they use the video conference technology, so they enabled actually the students in the smaller cities to be present in the school, like classes of 2, 3, 4 children were able to attend the class remotely. They were able to use their tablets to access the digital material, and they were able to use the tablets to submit all the learning which they did. The cost is most probably much, much smaller in using the technology than running the whole train service to have one single child going to school for 3 years. So we do see shift, which is happening now. And this shift is happening as well as in economy and in our daily lives, and also in learning and teaching, as well as everything else. But this shift is underpinned by usage and availability of the technology. So in our teaching and our daily lives, we see the shift from teacher-led classrooms to the project-based learning. We are talking more and more about flipped classrooms and the roles of the teacher. We are talking about collaboration. And of course, we are talking about from individualized learning to a personalized learning. But not to talk much about that because we also heard a lot. So this shift is actually underpinned with the fact that 20th century jobs are now moving into 21st century work. So we need to be able to use the technology in order to prepare the children to be able to come to the workforce of the tomorrow. So the things which we are seeing, it's also present and driven by the technology. So top-down hierarchies are now moving more into the networks and the relationships. Companies are not competing anymore for market share. We are in the business of creating new markets. You could see in the last 10 years how many companies were actually born out of nothing and became one of the most powerful and richest companies in the world in less than 10 years. We are not encouraged in the working environments and in organization to work individually in the silos. So we are now encouraged to communicate very widely, to go across the organization and to be able to seek the best competencies that we can find in order to deliver the best result for the company and for the business. And one more important trend which is happening is that there are no more single careers anymore. So for the new workers in the new economy, we are expecting that that each and every person will live around 10 or more careers before they reach the age of 40. So in Microsoft, we believe that work will be centered around people. So we have a lot of technologies which are helping us to do work, which are helping us to think instead of us, assisting us in every different way. And this actually puts us in a position where we, as humans, need to bring additional values on top of the work which can be done by the technology and by the computers. So there are 4 categories where we see in Microsoft and when we work in order to develop our technologies to support these shifts and to support the education. So one is collaboration and enabling that we are bringing people together. So this is kind of communication and ease of communication. For example, we have Skype, which enables you to communicate with anybody in the world from virtually any device using voice, video, using translation, and who actually knows where this is going to bring us in, let's say, next 10 years. Today, we are offering the platform to every educator to be able to access any single classroom in the world. So what we are calling this Skype in the classroom, where you can hook up and agree with a teacher from anywhere in the world, and you can share ideas. The other teacher can teach in your classroom. You can teach in the other teacher's classroom. You can engage with students across the world to collaborate with each other to solve problems and create skills and share experiences. So this is very, very valuable and very, very powerful. If you think about it, today you can visit every day one country and learn about one culture, and tomorrow learn about the other. So you can spend like 45 minutes one class each and every day and to get to know the world and to get different experiences. We believe that technology needs to enable smarter living. So it needs to be accessible, it needs to be easy. So today we are using stuff like Microsoft Band. I'm also using one, which tells me where and how I slept, how many steps I did, whether I need to be more active. It helps me to wake up easier because it wakes me up when I'm in light sleep, not in deep sleep, and stuff like that. And again, those kind of technologies are coming and being more and more powerful. Also, we are using the machine learning and artificial intelligence to help us have a smarter living. So we can today ask Cortana where we want to go to book us the flights, to advise us on a different number of things and actually help us in our daily lives. We also think that technology needs to enable friction-free creativity. So the technology needs to be smooth and easy. Today, we have huge pools of data. We don't need to do a huge research and dig into the books like we did before and do a number of research like we did in the past. These days, the data is all around us. We use the technology and we use the machine learning and artificial intelligence to help us to bring the conclusions and ideas faster. And mobility, which is the central topic of our conference today. So we believe that mobility needs to be fluid, needs to be accessible, and that mobility needs to be set up to be used by humans and provide the same experience all over again. So we are here actually to empower every student on the planet to achieve more. And we are doing this in Microsoft. We are supporting the demand for the robust and essential life skills of the future by providing a number of new technologies. But also we could hear a lot of advices on what to do, how to do, and where to do. The only advice which I can give you from the technology provider perspective is that whatever you do, do it thoughtfully and do it. Because this is now, we have this technology, And whatever you do tomorrow and how much you are going to wait, this is the time which you are going to leave your students without the current and existing technology. So find a way where you are feeling the most comfortable and engage and use it as the best you can. From Microsoft, we are trying to support you also in the best way we can. So we are providing you with one experience across all platforms. We are providing you one single platform in forms of Windows 10, which goes through the smallest mobile phones to the large screens, which we can also see today in the exhibits. And we are also providing you with one store. And from this one store, you can get the same applications and the same experience across all the devices. And what is even more important, with Windows 10 anniversary update, we are enabling you to have the special education store within your Windows. What it means that all across the applications, whether they are Microsoft or any other which you would like to use, they can sit in your store and you can use it safely and securely. And the mobility is actually the mobility of human experience across the devices and not how the device is mobile. Because today we have a really number of formats. But what we are doing and what we are supporting with Windows 10 is the way how we communicate and how we create, and you can choose basically in the way you would like to work. So we offer you voice using the Cortana. Basically, you can do whatever you want. You can ask and communicate with the device. We are using ink, and today's technology is enabling actually you to ink everywhere. So it is not just one notebook that you ink over this notebook and draw. You can use Microsoft Edge browser, which enables you to ink across any single web page which you do. So you just do your annotations, you do your remarks, and save these things in OneNote, and it stays here for you to use further. And we also enable touch. And touch helps technology to become also more human, because you are not just using the keyboard and using the pen and the voice, and you can touch the thing, and it brings a whole lot of interaction and ease of use these days. And there is also a discussion on pedagogical potential of the device and how we would use the devices. So whether we are going mobile, how mobile we are going. It's a matter also of what you want to do and how you want to do it, and in which extent you want to use the device in your teaching. So if you are going into the biggest potential, where we have inking, touch, we have mobility, we have pen, we have detachable keyboard. So then you are going into this, what we call all-in-one category, which gives you the full potential of learning and gives you the full potential of creation. It gives you applications from the technology subjects all the way to arts, music. You can use it to compose music easily with the pen and not using the paper as we did in the past. And then, of course, all the way down to the smartphone, where the smartphone has, of course, the least potential. So you can use it due to its small size. You can use it for a different, smaller applications. But mostly, you would use it in order to search the information and browse the internet. So.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and I'm a student. I've always loved learning.
Okay, so I would like you to play the video now to see how we use it at Microsoft.
These are my friends Anya and Fabian. We like to work together on projects in class and hang out after school. Then there's Mr. Sousa, our teacher. He's great and really helps us understand our projects, especially math. I used to find math one of the hardest subjects, but now we use Office 365 from Microsoft and a cool app called GeoGebra. Even though we all work in different ways, with Office 365 and GeoGebra, we found a perfect solution for making math more exciting. Like this new project we're working on. First, our teacher Mr. Sousa created a hub to show us what the project was about and get us started. Then, because we can all work independently and share our work at the same time, we each focused on our own interests. Take me. I wanted to find out if there is a good explanation why Matthias, our fastest runner, is also the best jumper. so I'm working on the correlation between jumping and running. Using GeoGebra, I can easily analyze and visualize the data and share with my classmates on OneNote. Anya, on the other hand, is interested in architecture, so she wanted to measure the size of our school building. She used GeoGebra to apply trigonometry to real-life objects, and it's really interesting to see what she shares through OneNote. And Fabian, he wanted to find out more about his favorite game, so he used GeoGebra to model a real football. There's all kinds of letters and numbers and some pretty hard math, but it looks great. He's always sharing what he's learned so we can understand it too. Working this way means we can concentrate on our individual ideas, but easily share our work together in class, and Mr. Sousa can check our space in OneNote to see how we are doing and give individual feedback at any time. Another thing about OneNote and GeoGebra is that you can use it on any device. Some students use the school computers, others have laptops, some use tablets, and I can even use it on my smartphone. Thanks to Microsoft, OneNote and GeoGebra, maths definitely isn't as scary as it used to be. It can even be fun.
Okay, so you see one interesting application of the mobility of different devices using the mobile applications. And one more thing which is extremely important for us, and this is what we cannot forget to celebrate teachers. So the teachers and you actually are the one who is making all this happen. So it is a matter of you, how much courage you are going to have, how much will you are going to have, and how much you are actually invest into the students to make their teaching more rewarding. So never forget about that. So the only thing which we actually remember for the whole of our lives is actually our best teachers. So thank you very much for being the best teachers, and never forget to celebrate teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Danijel Bačelić.